Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. All right. And so we are also just starting our recording too. So we're just going to go right on into this. So first, everybody, I just wanted to welcome you to the first of many. I don't know if you hear that echo.
We might be able to hang up the phone.
Oh. We'll be right back, everyone.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah. And welcome. Instead of getting bloopers at the end of a video, you guys all are witnessing bloopers prior to the video. So welcome to the first of many testimonies that we are going to start doing right here at Shazam Enterprises. And I am the lucky one to be able to, get the opportunity to ask one of our amazing directors, Miss Tabatha Smith, some questions. And you know what, you guys, this is a real testimony. This is Tabatha's going to share her journey thus far in her Tupperware business, and anything that she wants to share with all of you to inspire you, to motivate you, to help you realize that, you know what, we all have our own experiences and our own journeys and our own fears and our own obstacles that we face on a day-to-day basis. And so without further ado, we're going to go right on in and start interviewing Miss Tabatha, if you will. And for those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to meet, my name is Heidi Cole, and I am the business leader for Shazam Enterprises. Shazam Enterprises is anywhere from about 620 to about 840 team members in over 17 states, and number seven in the U.S. And so again, you guys all get the opportunity to hear from Miss Tabatha. So Tabatha, let's go ahead and get started today. Thanks for doing this with us here this morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because it looks like my lips aren't moving with my words. Okay, so first, Tabatha, do you just want to share why did you decide to join Tupperware? There's hundreds of thousands of other businesses out there. Why Tupperware?
So I had actually joined another direct sales company before I started with Tupperware. And I had never been in direct sales before. It just so happened that that other company was free to join at the time. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a try it out, get my feet wet, see what it was all about kind of thing. And I liked the idea of being able to run your own business for the most part. Okay. So then but there was a lot of things I didn't like about that company. So as I moved forward, it was trying to find something that worked with me, something that I could get on board with. And so Tupperware kind of came about. And at the time, I didn't even know Tupperware was still around. I hadn't heard about it for years in this area. So I was immediately intrigued because Tupperware was around when I was a kid. It brought back a lot of memories.
Mm-hmm.
I love to cook, so it just seemed like something that would fit into my life. So I did a lot of research on it, and I was really, really excited about joining Tupperware. So I figured that this would be a really good opportunity for me. I didn't realize at the time, though, that it was going to take me where it has. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Awesome. Awesome. And so I think you answered this within why you joined it, but I'm just going to ask it anyway in case there's anything you want to elaborate on it. Was there anything specific that you were looking for when you joined Tupperware?
Yes, absolutely. When I first joined Tupperware, my family, didn't have extra money at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we lived paycheck to paycheck, and it was a struggle. There was a lot of stress and a lot of stuff that comes with that. And I know many people out there understand that because a lot of people live that life. So it was about trying to find a way to make a little bit extra money. I had no intention at that point in time of making a career or, making buku's amount of money, but I just wanted to make a little bit of extra money to help my family get through week to week, because it's where you're counting your pennies going, do we have enough to get our groceries this week?
Mm-hmm.
That's why. That was the biggest reason why I joined, was just to help my family make a little bit.
Okay, excellent. Was there anything specific that you liked immediately when you, got into Tupperware?
Yes. I mean, I loved everything. I had done my research on the business before I joined, and there was so much to love about the company itself. After I joined, it was amazing how much of a family I had joined. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into because I didn't personally know anybody on the team. So very quickly, though, I learned that this is a family. It's friendships that I never expected to have. There was so much more to it than just making money, which was what I set out to do, but it became so much more than that.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
So you come in to make some extra money. You are experiencing, doing parties and running your business, however you're running it. And then all of a sudden you brought in a team member. So when did you bring in your first team member?
I brought in my first team member in April. I joined the end of February. I did my launch party in March, and I brought in my first team member in April.
Okay. And why? You weren't necessarily looking to grow a team, so why bring in somebody?
I had joined a dream call, which changed everything for me. Like I said, when I first started out, it was just about making a little bit extra money. I had no idea how to recruit people. I had no idea how to do any of that. Mm-hmm. I had attended a dream call that kind of laid out everything there was to achieve in this business. And that dream call kind of changed my whole path, because I saw an opportunity to make something of myself, and I had never seen that opportunity before. I had placed kind of a cap, if you will, on my life of the things that were achievable in my life, because that's all I'd ever known. Nobody ever told me that I could make whatever I wanted, that I could do whatever I wanted. It wasn't until I joined Tupperware that I felt that more could be done in my life. I didn't go to college, so I didn't have the opportunities like some people do out there. I didn't have big time connections to be able to get the best job in town or any of that stuff. So I never really saw myself doing that. So that dream call that I attended really kind of opened those doors for everything that was possible. And it was at that moment that I decided that I was going to try. There was no reason why I shouldn't. that if all these women can go out there and do these things and become a big success and make 6 figures a year and all these things, why couldn't I do that? I mean, they're the same as me. They started out exactly where I did. So that was why I decided to start recruiting, was that I had a passion for what I was doing, and I wanted to share that passion with other people. And that was exactly how I started. I got my first person by just telling them, look, I love this company. Mm-hmm. And they were like, huh. And they just followed right into suit. So they were excited as I was to get started. And actually that first person I recruited is still on my team today too, which I think is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you heard this dream call, you started to see different opportunities, started to remove the blinders off or the cap on that you had placed on there. When did you realize that, honestly, in this business, that you could choose to make a living if you so wanted to?
It was, I started seeing it at that very moment. Like that was when the light bulb went off in my head. Like I could do this. I could do this. And it's not that it doesn't take work, because it does, but I had the time and the work ethic and the ability to make it happen and the drive. So I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that it was shooting for that. I knew it was going to take some time and some work and all these other things, but it was at that point in time that I had decided I'm going to be a director, that I'm going to make things better for my family, that I am going to make a living and prove people wrong, because there was always those people out there that were going, oh, you can't make a living with Tupperware. You can't, direct sales doesn't work that way. I was so excited to prove those people wrong. So that was that moment for me.
Yeah, I'll recap at the end. That's awesome. And again, you're kind of highlighting along the way, which is amazing. Are there anything specific that you would like to highlight on how Tupperware has impacted, or what it's done for you personally, your family, that you would like to share?
Yes, absolutely. So in that first, I don't know, probably 3 to 6 months that I was with Tupperware, I learned a lot, and not just about the business, about myself, things that I didn't know. I didn't believe in myself. Not that that's hard to explain, but I didn't believe in myself enough to think that I can make a difference in my life.
Yeah.
And that all changed very quickly. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I can take away from this business, no matter what happens from here on out, is that I believe in myself. I know that I can make a difference. And I know that my family believes in me, and that they're always going to be there to support me no matter what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So this has really brought my family together on a whole different level. We've worked together to make our dreams come true, which before we didn't even know that dreams could come true. Mm-hmm. As you get older, it's kind of a fairy tale, and you don't think about it anymore. It's just a dream. Now we know that those things can happen, and we can make them happen. Mm-hmm. So it's really brought my family together on an amazing level, and that excites me in more ways than one. And I forgot what the first part of that question was that I was going to answer, but
it's impacted you, and then different ways, like your family.
Yes. Yeah. So on the other side of that is that since we have started making more money and we're not living paycheck to paycheck anymore, those things that seem so simple have made our lives so much easier. So we have gotten a second car since I've been with Tupperware, which we've had a second car for a while, but that wouldn't have been possible without having Tupperware. We had one vehicle, and that was it. We had to take turns. If I had to go somewhere, I had to take him to work. So having 2 vehicles was a huge difference. We've been able to take our little family vacations, summer vacations that we've done this summer, float trips that were always a struggle to pay for in the past have become easier. And actually, I know this is going to sound crazy, but one of our vehicles is having issues this week, and we have to have it towed to Kansas City, which is 2.5 hours from here. So it's a $300 tow bill. Does that stink? Absolutely. Nobody wants to pay a $300 tow bill, but we were so happy that we have the means to make that happen, because just 2.5 years ago, it would have been out of the question. Like, we would have had to have waited months to save up $300 for a tow bill, because it would have been taking $20 out of every paycheck until it was able to happen. Right. So we would have had to wait it a long time. So that's just one of the examples of things that have been so much easier for me since, and for my family, since this is all kind of taken shape.
That gives me goosebumps. So what are you looking for from your business in the next year?
In the next year, we're looking at doubling our household income, and we are pretty close to that. But I think in the next year, it'll be a solid doubled income from when we started. So that's super exciting.
And what does that look like when you start to think about that? And this is, guys, this is totally off cuff here. When you start to think about doubling, tripling your family income, how does that make you feel? What do you see when that becomes a reality?
Incredible. I mean, there's no words to describe that feeling. When you come from something as little as we had, and then going to that, and just, I mean, I realized that it took 2.5 years, and some people think that that's a long time, but it's really, really not. I mean, it happened so quickly in my mind that now we're sitting here in this spot and have options to be able to do things that were before just completely out of the question. I wouldn't have even thought of them because it wasn't an option. So to be able to double our income when we were living on one, doubling it means all those things become possible. So it's incredible.
Excellent. What is, I'm sure there's many things, but what would you say is your biggest thing that you want to accomplish this year?
I want to help at least one person on my team step up to director. I know what a difference that's made for me. And I know that there are lots of willing people that want to make that happen, and I want to help them do that. This year has really, well, I've always been really big on helping my team. It's a passion of mine to help other people because I came from nothing and made something, and I know that it's possible, and I know that if you really want it, you can make it happen.
Right.
So sharing that with other people is really, really important to me, and I genuinely love to help people. And if I can do that, then it just makes me feel really great. So that's one thing that I'm really working on by the end of this year, is I want somebody else to experience that same thing that I got to.
That's awesome. And what about one thing with your family? What do you want to accomplish this year?
We are we're going to Disney World. I know this is going to happen. That's where our sights are set. My whole family is excited about it. We've done everything as far as, pictures and expecting it. We know it's going to happen. So nothing's going to stop us from doing that. And we're really, really super excited to go.
And what? That's on Tupperware?
Yes.
Yeah, that is so cool. And I know your son is eagerly awaiting.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so then our final thing, and then that I have for Tabatha, and then we'll open it up to see if she wants to highlight anything else. If there was one or two, okay, so we have a lot of people viewing this and watching this. So if there were one or two things that you would like to share with, people who are listening, watching this, that would encourage or motivate or help empower them in some way to start today, to start dreaming big and start welcoming new team members, what would you say to them? Or what would you encourage?
Well, my first thing is that you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. I was afraid until I realized what the possibilities were. And then that fear quickly fades because you realize that you have to power through the fear to make a better tomorrow. So, you can't be afraid. And dreaming, when you become a certain age, dreams kind of, like I said, become a fairy tale, or at least that's what we make them become. And now I'm not really sure why we do that, because it's incredible how quickly you can make your dreams come true. It really is. I never would have thought it until living it, but it's really amazing. And to believe in yourself. I can't tell you how many people I've run across in this business, just on my team alone, that don't believe in themselves. And it's sad. And I was that same person. I was there. I didn't believe in myself at all until I started this, and I started my journey, and I started speaking with other women that believed in themselves and who had been through this. And it became something that I knew I had to do. And as each step that I took and everything that I did and I achieved, I believed in myself more and more. If I did that, I can do this. If I did that, then I can do the next thing. So it's always about taking that next step and always having a bigger picture in front of you and knowing what you're going for. Do we want to break it down into smaller pieces to achieve it? Absolutely. But that big picture is really what's going to get you up every day, what's going to make you make those phone calls or whatever it is that you got to do. And it's going to take you to that next level. So that's believing in yourself is probably the biggest thing that I can give anybody. And there was another thing that I was looking at too. And these were my motto, what helps me, what's helped me get through things. And I have two. And one of them was the one that helped me for the first probably year or two. And it's a Tupperware motto, but it was one that really shined through for me on the whole believing in yourself thing. And that was, I'm possible. And when that came out, it spoke volumes to me. Just that one thing, because for so many people, impossible is this thing that keeps us from doing or trying to do those bigger things because we think it's impossible. And believing in yourself, and when you finally hit that moment, it then becomes I'm possible. And it's huge. My other one that I really enjoy, and this was kind of a newer one because I hear it from a lot of people, is she turned her can'ts into cans and her dreams into plans. I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Tabatha, anything that you want to close with? Otherwise, I'll go ahead and wrap up our time.
I think that's all I got.
Well, first it was amazing to hear your story. You know, I've heard your story before, but there are things that you just shared that I didn't know. So in recapping, what stuck out at me is belief, and how many women don't believe in themselves, and the power that this business, and again, you guys, I'm recapping things that I took away from Tabatha, the power that we have in this business of empowering one woman at a time. And when we empower one woman at a time, that creates a domino effect of empowering a family, of a legacy, of young women up and coming behind us in our families. I'm not even talking just in this business. So who is that one woman that you can go empower today? Some other things that I took away is dreams come true. That's not a thing of the past. It's not it happens for some people. I'm one of those that it's not going to happen for, right? Dreams come true when you believe or remove the curtain off, take it off, and think the possibilities. Tabatha has done that. And she's living proof that you can do anything that you put your mind to if you believe. Anything. And then some other things. When she was sharing about her car, right? Having 2 family cars now. Money, you guys, is not everything, right? Money can't buy health. Money can't buy happiness. But money certainly does provide opportunities that we would not be able to have unless we have the income. When we don't have money, Tabatha said it at the beginning, it provides or brings on stress. And we know what stress does to our physical bodies and to our physical appearance. We know what stress can do to relationships, whether it's our spouses or significant others or our children. We know that stress brings on a frustration and doesn't bring out the beautiful inside that's inside of each of us. Stress does ugly things. And when we don't have money, we don't have those funds, that's what it does. So again, is money everything? No, but it does provide options, and it does help relieve stress, and it does give you different opportunities that maybe we wouldn't have had if it wasn't for this business and dreaming. And so, you know, the other thing with income is Murphy happens. You know, like Tabatha said, prior to Tupperware, if their car broke down and they were taking $20 out a paycheck, how long would that take to have that vehicle fixed? So it's the simple things in life to the bigger things in life to the more that you can provide for a family or for an organization or for a group. I'm going to highlight one story. A woman very close to my heart, I won't name names because I didn't ask her permission to share this, but she has shared it openly. But when they stopped living paycheck to paycheck, she started paying the house income or the household bills for her parents. So think of that opportunity. Think of those different things outside of your box, our box, of what that can do. So Tabatha, you have helped re-inspire me. And I just want to say that you are an amazing woman, and you have impacted my life in several ways. And so I just want to say thank you again for taking the time out of your schedule to share with other people your heart and your experiences.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a great day, everybody. Bye, Tabatha.